Willie D Live.
What's up, family? I came across this wild story of a copycat of Chud the Builder. Chud the Builder is a crud, uncivilized mutt who goes around calling black people the N word, trying to provoke them into a fight so that they can end up in jail or he can get a free kill. You can shoot him. He walks around with his gun and he threatens to pull that gun, and sometimes he does pull it out. He brandishes the gun to try to scare people. Well, he shot a guy, and long story short, he shot a guy about a couple of weeks ago, and he ended up in jail. He's sitting in jail right now on a $1.25 million bond. He's raised over $250,000 in his sin, save, go, whatever the damn. I can't never say that damn name of that funding company. But he's raised over $250,000 from a legion of other uncivilized mutts who would like to see him beat the case where he shot a man, tried to kill a man. But right now he's in jail for attempted murder and he's trying to get out. Well, it wouldn't be surprising if there was copycats, right? Because, there's a lot of people in this country that don't have an original thought and they are followers. And it would not be surprising to find out that there was a copycat out there. So insert this guy by the name of Chad the Antagonizer. Chad the Antagonizer, they say, is the copycat of Chud the Builder, and he got himself killed after attacking a black woman. Well, he was antagonizing this black woman. He targeted her on live stream while she was at the gas station and all this type of stuff. This is the story that has been told. This is the story that a lot of people online are running with. So I'm like, anytime I hear a Wild Wild West type story, I have to dig deep. I dig deep, right? And the trip part is I didn't have to dig too deep to figure out what the truth was on this story. I want y'all to check it out and tell me what you think about it first and foremost. And let me share the link. As you can see right here, this is a dead giveaway right here. Detroit AI. This was on Detroit AI's Instagram page. A horrific confrontation at Joy Road gas station left 21-year-old live streamer Chad the Antagonizer dead after what police say began as a racist social media stunt inspired by controversial creator Chud the Builder, with witnesses saying that Chud approached 75-year-old Pauline Barnes while she pumped gas, calling her mammy and Aunt Mama, before turning his attention to her grandson, Douglas Barnes. During the live stream, Chad allegedly yelled, "Don't be a lazy N-word. Why aren't you pumping the gas?" before mocking him to viewers by saying the N-word is aping out. Police say Douglas snapped, knocking Chad unconscious before allegedly dousing him in gasoline and setting him on fire with a cigarette. The flames quickly spread through the station, sending thick black smoke over Detroit's west side. Chad died at the scene. Pauline later turned herself in, and Douglas Barnes remains on the run as investigators continue searching for him. The shocking incident has sparked intense online debate about rage-bait content, racism for clout, and how people are willing to go viral for fame. Yeah, and how people are willing to go viral for fame. You're talking about yourself, Dax News. See, that's the dead giveaway, right? This is supposed to be Chad the Antagonizer, this guy right here. But this is the dead giveaway, Dax News. So a quick research of this, fam, a quick browser search of this name, and you'll see that it's not a legitimate media source, right? So that's that. But I will say this, even though this is in my opinion, a fake media source. Uh, it's plausible because we have a lot of uncivilized mutts in this country, right? There are a lot of uncivilized mutts in this country. And that's why people were so quick to believe the story. But anytime there's a wild, wild west story, I have to dig a little deeper because I want to make sure that I'm not just, reporting the first thing they come across and not giving these people uh, the reaction that they want, right? But this situation right here is going to birth copycats. I can guarantee you that. Because like I said in the beginning, there are people in this country, plenty of people in this country, who don't have an original thought. Every time they see somebody else doing something, they want to go run and do the same thing. Even when you look at art, creativity, right? If you look at music, you ever notice how every era of music, most of the music sound the same? You can tell what the era is by the sound. Like I can hear music and I can tell you if I've never heard the song, I can hear certain musical components in a song and I can tell you what era that music come from. Even if somebody tried to use the same instruments, I can tell how they how those how the keys in the instruments are used, of what era it comes from. But you could tell from from the 40s, from you look at rock, you can look at disco, folk music, going back, folk music, rock, disco, R&B, soul, rap, jazz, all of it. I can tell you what era it is if I hear the beat. And that is because when people hear something that's jamming, they want to go in the studio and make something like it. Even if as an artist, you might not want to make something like that, your executive producer, the owner of the record label, going to say, give me something like that. And that's why you hear so much of this stuff sounding the same way. It's a whole bunch of copycats. Hell, it's so bad now that they're copying the cadence. It used to be called biting back in the day. If you try to snatch somebody else's style, like everybody had their own style. Nobody sounded like somebody else. Now it sounds like one long ass record with a bunch of guest features, right? Everybody sounds the same. Well, not everybody, but you're picking up what I'm putting down, right? So it's the same thing overall in society. You look at Instagram, everybody got the same kind of clothes on. Everybody got the same hairdo. Ain't nothing but like 2 or 3 hairdos. Everybody is, they're using cut and paste comments. All the comments sound the same, depending on what, whether it's a conservative site or a liberal site. It's usual suspects, 13%. It's what else they say? I ain't got to go through all that, but you know what I'm saying, fam. A lot of cut and paste, a lot of stuff sound the same. That is because people are reading comments that other people say, oh, that's a good one. Let me use that. And they use the same comments, right? Same thing. If you look straight across the board, every industry is just a whole lot of copycats. Look at the film industry. They are, instead of coming up with new films, they're going back and remaking films. They're remaking the classic films. And that's cool, but I'd rather see something that blows my mind, see something that I've never seen before. That's me. That's just me. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this dude, Chud the Builder's actions created a bunch of, little micro Chud the Builders, right? And I wouldn't also be surprised if they ended up getting their heads knocked off. I want y'all to remember what comes with that. Yeah, y'all think it's funny, but the cold part about it is you're not supposed to reward bad behavior, but we live in a society where bad behavior is rewarded oftentimes. And we can go outside of just this streamer who's looking for attention. It's all types of people on the internet right now that are doing all types of deplorable things, but they get attention. They getting the likes, and somehow, some way, they'll find a crowd of people who's willing to finance them, who will give them money to see more of their ignorance. That is the type of society that we live in. This is why America is dead last, or damn near dead last at almost everything now. When you talk about a moral compass, America has none. America cannot call anybody out in the world. You can't look at what's going on at China and start talking about human rights. You can't look at what's going on in Iran and try to look down on those people or say they're this, they're that. You got to look at home. Man, charity starts at home. And America got a whole lot of cleaning up to do. America got a whole lot of fixing to do here first. But that's not going to happen because we'd rather spend money on a war than spending money on the people in this country who might need some social services, right? We'd rather spend money on a war. We'd rather spend money on a war before we feed the poor, like Tupac said. We'd rather spend money on a war before we clothe the people out there that need clothing. We'd rather spend money on a war than build shelter for the homeless. That's the truth about the country we live in. So when people have criticisms about this country, and they're true, you shouldn't get upset about it. You should look within and say, okay, how can we fix it? Not how can we silence them from talking about it. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.